Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome dear learners. This is a video for the subject of education, for the course of Bachelor's in Education and for the paper of Educational Technology. This video is based on teaching learning strategies and materials, and in this lecture we will be discussing the stages, advantages and limitations of team teaching. This video lecture is recorded by Dr. Iram Khan. The course coordinator and the presenter of this video is Dr. Iram Khan from Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. The academic expert or the reviewer of this video is Professor Jasim Ahmed from Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. This video is produced under the project DTH Swayam Prabha Channels of Ministry of Education, Government of India. Hello dear students, I am Dr. Iram Khan, Assistant Professor at Institute of Advanced Studies in Education, Faculty of Education, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. Today we are going to have a discussion on the teaching learning strategies and materials, and in this lecture we will focus on the various points related to team teaching, and the points are the stages, advantages and the limitations of team teaching. Let us start with the objectives. The objectives of this session are to discuss the various steps or stages of team teaching, to describe the advantages of team teaching, to elaborate the drawbacks and shortcomings of team teaching. So first of all, we have to see that how team teaching is carried out. Team teaching is carried out in a cooperative way by a team of people. All those professionals who can be from teaching background or can be from non-teaching background, they constitute the team of personnel. Every team has its leader and one or more cooperating teachers, and maybe some skilled resource persons and other people. And besides all this, the team may have somebody who can take care of all those administrative things. And if it's a college or school based study, something which is happening in a college or school, then there should be some sort of services which are required, like the library services or the laboratory services. So those people who assist in the library and the laboratory are also required for the purpose of team teaching, because there may be certain activities in which the laboratory equipment and the assistance is required. So in this way we can say that certain full-time and part-time professionals can be brought up, and they can be the part of this team which is going to deal with a teaching learning situation. Let us now have a look at what are those standard procedures. They are not very standard, but we can say that somehow there are some streamlining which have been done, so that steps or stages can be clearly defined. So what are those steps or stages of team teaching? The first step is planning, then the second step is execution, and the third step is evaluation. And we are going to have a look on all these three stages or steps in detail, so that we can understand that how this process of team teaching is carried out in a teaching learning environment. So we have just seen that the first step or stage of team teaching is planning. So what happens in this planning stage? Let us try to see all those activities which are taken care of in this planning stage. The first point is we have to take the decision about the topic which is to be taught. Then the second one is to formulate the objectives, and we have to write these objectives in black and white in behavioral terms, so that everything should be clear, that how the class is going to be initiated and what are those particular areas which are to be dealt here in this class. So objectives written properly is a necessity. Then the third point is to identify the initial behavior of the learner. We have to know that what exactly is the previous learning and the previous knowledge which the learner is having. So this initial behavior identification will lead us to teach them in a proper way. Because if we are aware of that what is the level of our learners in the beginning, then in the same way, like we will be in a position to make our pedagogy in according to the satisfaction level of the learners, where from where they have to start, what are those points which are the initial points we think that might be understanding, but there is a possibility that they are not aware of. So we have to take care of those points even in the beginning. So knowing this initial behavior is a must. Then the next point is to identify the available human resources and the material resources. Who are the best teachers who can take up or deal with this particular topic? And uh, we have to actually facilitate the availability of these best teachers and even the resources. And the resources can be of any type. They can be a video or some sort of audio program, or maybe some real objects which can be used, or even the demonstration activities or a lab work which can be shown while the topic is being taught. Then the next part or next point of this planning stage is the selection of the members of team teaching. The teachers, then the team leader, and all those other professional and non-professional helping hands who are going to become the part of this team teaching activity. Then the next point is taking decision about the tentative schedule. What will be the number of audiences? What will be the group size to whom we are going to take up the class? Is the we are going to take up the class in a larger group or a smaller group? So that particular point is also to be decided, and the level of instruction and teaching strategies are also to be decided beforehand, or they should be actually worked on in the planning stage itself. Then the next point is to distribute responsibilities among the members of the team according to their abilities and also their interests. Then the next point is to take decision about the means and ways of evaluating the learning outcomes. So in this way, all these points are dealt here in this first stage of team teaching, which is called as the planning stage. Let us go ahead with the second stage. Let us discuss the second stage, which is the execution stage, or can also be considered as the implementation stage. And this happens obviously after the planning stage. So whatever is planned by the leader of the team in the first stage or the planning stage with the active cooperation of other members is put to work at the execution stage. And here the actual teaching learning activities are carried out by the members of this particular team. And now we have to see that the group to which we are actually teaching, what is the size of that group? And according to the size of that group, we are going to transact our teaching learning process. So if we have got a large group, what will be the way in which we are going to take the subsequent sessions? Or if the group is small, or if we are providing some individual study sessions. So what will be the execution stage in uh, these three you can say ways? We are just going to have a look on those. So in the first instance where the large group session is being taken care of, or there is a big group or a combined class or maybe a general assembly, what will be the way out to deal with? So in the beginning, most of the times the students are taught in a large group. Two or three sections of a class may be combined to form a large group, and this group is taught by the most competent and expert teacher among the members of the team. So all the members who are constituting this team, they provide the essential cooperation in the task which this expert teacher is executing. For example, we can see that one person may provide some additional points or information, and the other may show the map. If we are taking a class where a map is required, then the map can be shown by other teacher, and the next teacher can draw something on the board, and the other teacher can be drawing the summary, maybe uh, just making a recapitulation of whatever is taught. And even if there is something which is to be demonstrated, any experiment for giving certain examples is to be demonstrated, some other person can come up and demonstrate that particular activity or experiment. So in this way, you can see that the responsibilities are shared and the class is going to become very lively, because it is a cooperative class, and every single teacher or the people who are the part of this team are doing all those acts so that the class becomes lively. The maintenance of discipline also may be left to some cooperative teacher. So there should be somebody who would be taking care of the discipline, because there is a possibility that in a large group, the students who are sitting at the back may sometimes find certain difficulties to see or to listen to the things. So they may be causing some sort of indiscipline. So this teacher who is taking care of the discipline has to make sure that the seating arrangement and other things are very much conducive. So every child is having the same opportunity to listen and view whatever is being taught. So the students basically listen to the lecture or observe what is demonstrated to all these group of students by the teacher. They're also free to ask questions and discuss the matter which is taught to them, and they can also raise their hands, and they can even ask questions by raising hands, and they can even point out certain things which are to be revised or which are to be recapitulated, or maybe some sort of revision if they want to. So here other teachers play their part to help the main teacher in providing appropriate answer to the questions of the students. So if there is a point where this main teacher is taking up a lot of fatigue, or maybe a lot of uh, talking is being done by this main teacher, even the questions can be taken up by the other teachers. So in this way, a very cooperative and team-based lively class can be executed. So this was the large group session. And the second way in which this team teaching can be executed is in the small group sessions. So what happens that after this large group or the general assembly, the students are divided into small groups. These groups work under the supervision of the individual teachers. And here are the teachers who are basically responsible for those small groups. They try to discuss with the learners the common difficulties which are faced by them in understanding the material which is taught to them in the general assembly or in the large group. So what happens this again, if there is something which is not very much clear to the students, they can ask it uh, all those problems to this individual teacher who is taking up the session in a small group, and all those queries can be solved by making the explanation of that particular problem or illustrations and demonstrations, and providing the different opportunities to the students who are having certain queries, or who need to understand the topic in a better way. Even certain experiments can be uh, done in participation with those students, and these activities in the small groups can be done in a very proper way. So you can see that here, whatever was not understood by the students in the larger group can be learned in the smaller group. And even the students will be very likely to ask questions, because in the small group they will be less hesitant. Then the next way in which we can take up the this session is the individual study sessions. This is basically uh, the way in which we basically go ahead with uh, solving the problems of the individual students. And following the activities in the large group or small group sessions, the students are able to engage in self-study, and they can also go for independent work on the individual level. And now they can go in maybe the laboratory or in the library for independent reading. In the laboratory, they can go for independent experimentation, or in other workplaces for doing practical work. They can even go for some skill sets training, or maybe the practical work, or adopt other resources for self-study. And here the teachers and other members of the team have a big responsibility of supervising, guiding, and directing the students on the right path. They have to remove their individual difficulties, and they have to suggest ways and means for their progress according to the interest and abilities. So here the teachers who are responsible for this particular act, they have to take special interest in the individual students. They have to see that how the progress is going to take place, like this, the progress is taking place in all those individual students who are going for these practice kind of thing. So in this way, the execution stage works in the individual study sessions. Then comes the last stage, or the third stage, which is called as the evaluation stage. At the evaluation stage of team teaching, there are attempts which are made for the evaluation of the progress and outcomes of the activities which are performed. The outcomes are subjected to evaluation in the light of the set objectives, and you have to remember that the objectives were set beforehand in the planning stage itself. The learner's initial behavior, the methods and strategies, planning and responsibilities shared by the team members, and other things are basically, all these things are decided in the planning stage itself. But we see that how these things have worked, what were the outcomes which we were expecting, the expected outcome, and what we have got, whether both of these things are matching or not. And this is something which is here, like we are dealing with here in this evaluation stage. The evaluation of the student's performance is done through many means, and those means can be by taking oral test or written test, or maybe we can go for skill testing or practical test. There's sessional practice, or we normally give assignments, and even we give some sort of homework. We try to evaluate them on periodic basis. We normally ask them to come for a unit test, or maybe to do some assignment or a project work, which once they do all this, we assess those things and we get to know that what is the level of understanding of these students. And this basically gives or provides us a comprehensive picture of their learning outcomes as a result of the team teaching effort. And in the light of all such evaluative works, attempts are made to incorporate necessary modifications and improvements in the organization of team teaching programs in the institution. So basically, we take cues from the evaluation which we do to see that what is the learning outcome which we are receiving, and on the basis of those feedback or those results, we try to make modifications and amendments. If there are any of those amendments required, we do that and make the team teaching programs much more effective. So this was all about the different stages of team teaching. Let us see few of those advantages which are attached with this process of team teaching. The first advantage which I can discuss is that team teaching is the best utilization of the available talents. It provides opportunities for the best utilization of the talents and expertise of the experienced and devoted teachers in their respective fields. Because in this process of team teaching, the teachers discharge their responsibilities according to their own interests and abilities. And that is why they can play their role very effectively and efficiently, because the roles are chosen by them on the basis of their interest and abilities. So that's why they are going to make that role very effective and efficient. And in this particular way, the learners are greatly benefited for the different teaching learning situations. The next advantage can be the best utilization of the available material resources. And we can see that while teaching, we use a lot of different resources, audiovisual resources, or maybe some things which we try to demonstrate to our students. So what happens that in a small class, full advantage of all these materials are less taken. But here in this, in case of a team teaching activity, we take the full advantage of these available material resources. And we can get help even from the members of our team for proper utilization of the available resources. They provide us help to demonstrate. And in this way, we can actually save a lot of time. We can ask our fellow teacher to start the video, and at some point of time we feel that this much is enough and now we can continue with the discussion. So we can just ask our fellow teacher to close the video on that particular time. And in this way, you can see that a very cooperative situation is built up, and where the time is also saved and the resources are also used in a very proper way. And at times what happens that some teachers are very expert in some particular topic, but they are less expert in the ICT or dealing with all those devices. So if these teachers take the help of those fellow teachers who are very good in ICT, you can imagine the level of efficiency which can be imparted in that particular class. An expert teacher who is explaining and an expert of ICT who is dealing with all those material resources, and the combination is somehow excellently performing for the students, for the betterment of the students. Then the next advantage is that team teaching provides opportunities for professional growth. There are a lot of challenges and opportunities to the teachers for their proper professional growth. We all know this. And here, in this case, when the team teaching is happening, we can see that there is a highly professional and very experienced senior teacher who is taking class, and other fellow teachers who are less experienced, or who would have recently joined the fraternity of teachers. They become the part of this particular class. They assist the teacher, the expert teacher, and they learn that how this teacher is taking the class, how this teacher is handling the situation. And in this way, this entire class is managed. And the fellow teachers are also learning. And they are also getting the benefit of being the part of this team teaching activity. So this provides a lot of opportunities to them in terms of making themselves perfect. Uh, in future, they can take up the classes on their own, and sort of professional development is also happening. Then the next advantage can be that team teaching provides better learning opportunities. How this happens? Like in case of this team teaching activity, we actually do a lot of effort to learn something which we are going to transact or we are going to be the part of. And we are also having a large group of students. So we make sure that every single query which the student is going to ask should be solved by us. So here we, like in the case of a traditional class, maybe there are less queries coming up. But here in a team teaching situation, a lot of queries can come up. So we make a lot of preparation. And then we allow the students to raise questions, and getting their difficulties solved and having free discussions happening on that particular topic which is being dealt, we actually try to enhance our knowledge also. And here, that particular expert teacher who is the part of this team is very much helpful. The less experienced teachers also get a lot of exposure in this general assembly or in a large teaching group or teaching learning group, and they have got proper time and attention for their the for the teachers who are going to teach in the smaller group discussions, or who are going to lead the smaller group discussions or the self-study sessions. So they learn a lot. The teachers even learn a lot from these large group discussions, the questions, the discussions. And once they go in the smaller groups or the self-study sessions, the teachers are in a position to help the students in a better way, because their learning is also enhanced, the knowledge is enhanced. And this is somehow a process which is very much helpful to make the other teachers a better teacher. Then the next advantage is that team teaching provides opportunities for interaction with the experts who maybe uh, are not belonging to the same institution. They might be coming from another country or another state or another institution. So both the teachers and the learners get opportunities to interact with the experts in a subject or a specialized field. It is not only providing them the useful exposure in terms of learning, but so many new and specialized things which are which are all the set of experiences of this expert teacher is basically going to be imparted by this expert teacher to the rest of the teachers. And some sort of inspiration and motivation is also going to be received by this group of teachers by getting exposed to somebody who is at the top in the field of learning and instruction, or maybe research. So this activity gives a lot of motivation and inspiration too. Then team teaching helps in maintaining proper human relationships and cooperative attitude, because team teaching works on the principle of cooperation and shared responsibility. It makes the members of the team to come near to each other, understand the linkages and competencies of one another, and then they also need to develop a very kind of cordial relationship among themselves. And then only this process of team teaching in a cooperative way can be done. They have to be in a like they have to work in a team spirit. They have to understand that what is the responsibility which is given to them, and they have to execute it. And every individual, because the individuals are the part of this team, they have to work to the fullest. They have to perform to the 100%. Then only the team teaching is going to be very much effective. And this makes sort of human relationships. We we gain certain relationships with the other fellow teachers who are not of our institution. We get to know to these teachers for the first time, and maybe a very good relationship can be built up for the future. The next advantage is that it is also an economical activity in terms of saving time and labor, because here we can take up a large group of students, and we can basically reduce the labor of an individual teacher, because a group of teachers are dealing with the large group of students, and then the groups are divided into small groups and then into individual teaching. So we can see that a lot of time and labor is also saved, and better teaching experience can be provided to the students. Then the next advantage is that it provides proper flexibility. Team teaching basically provides a lot of flexibility in terms of scheduling and grouping techniques to meet the need of a particular teaching learning situation. And the learners may be taught in large or small groups, or even individually, and there is no rigidity in terms of the timetable or schedule. The next advantage is that team teaching helps in maintaining discipline. So, because there are responsible teachers who are taking care of the discipline of this entire activity, they are always vigilant about the discipline. We can find that the classes who are having a set of teachers combinedly taking the class, better disciplined condition can be seen. Even in case of dealing with the materials, the audiovisual material or any of type of resource, a better handling is done, and this makes again a very disciplined class. Because if there is a situation where the video stops, then you can find indiscipline happening in the class. But here, because one teacher is responsible for taking care of the audio visual material and everything, so this teacher is going to handle the situation, fix the problem, and then immediately the problem will be fixed and it will start again. And in this way, the other teachers who are taking care of the discipline can be taking care of that. There is no any kind of noise or any um, misleading activities happening in the class. So it becomes a good and disciplined class, which is being dealt by this team of teachers. The next advantage is that team teaching provides opportunities for proper supervision. And this, we can say that a number of teachers and other people or professionals who are involved in the team teaching, basically they make sure that proper supervision is maintained. And because a number of teachers and professionals are there, so there is no any difficulty in having a very planned scheme for the supervision of the independent and self-study activities which are made uh, by the individual students. So whatever the activity we are planning for taking the uh, making the evaluations, we are in a position to take up. Even if there is an oral viva happening, the group of teachers can sit and take up the viva from the group of students, and then it becomes very swift. Even in case of some skill or skill testing or practical work testing, that is also easier. The supervision is easier because a group of teachers are involved in this entire process. Then the next advantage is that this team teaching provides an effective training technique. It is it is a very effective training technique, and it is something which is proven. Team teaching is is basically considered as a very effective technique for training, and many student teachers observe this team teaching during their internship plans, internship teaching practices, and they actually perform their classes in a very proper way. One experienced teacher who can be the supervisor would be there to see, to actually observe every single activity, but rest of the students are actually taking up the class in a very proper way. You can find this happening in all those B.Ed colleges and the teacher education institutions, and this is something which proves to be very effective once a student teacher is in the training phase, because other trainee teachers, the peer group members, are assisting him or her in taking up the class, and the students who are being taught would be in a better position because this class is much more organized, because it is being governed by a group of teachers or student teachers. So these were few of those advantages. So after the advantages, let us see that what are those drawbacks or limitations which can be discussed here in case of team teaching. The first drawback can be seen as the difficulty in the distribution of the responsibilities, because this proper sharing of responsibilities is very much required on the part of the team members. For this purpose, the members should willingly come forward. And at times we can see that the members try to avoid or hesitate to share the responsibilities. And as a result of this, the task or distribution of the responsibilities is left entirely to the team leader, who feels a lot of difficulty, who finds it very difficult in choosing the proper person for the particular task. And then this team leader has to persuade the other team members to take the that particular responsibility or to assign that responsibility. So this is a little bit of difficult uh, task. Then the next difficulty which can be faced is in maintaining harmony and understanding. Team teaching requires proper understanding and cooperation among the members. The goal of team teaching is achieved like in the beginning itself we have to set the objectives, and for this purpose every member should have proper team spirit. This team spirit is essential, and a positive attitude towards the assigned work. There is also a need of doing away with any type of ego, hesitation, inferiority complex, or any type of negative feeling for working for the common cause. So the teachers with the required attitude are hardly available. And in consequence to this, it becomes a difficult task to maintain proper coordination and harmony among the members for getting the desired outcomes for the team teaching sometimes. Then the next point is that at times we expect a lot from the teachers in this process of team teaching. And for the success of team teaching, basically it demands a lot from the teachers. Every teacher should have a thorough knowledge of the subject along with the necessary skills to handle small groups. Uh, like when the small group discussions are happening, this teacher is at the center point, and there will be direct questions which are happening. And even in case of individualized study, the teacher is somebody who is going to be taking up all the queries. So excellent knowledge level is very much required, and such type of competency and willingness and positive attitude to answer all the queries and to do a lot of hard work is very much desired here in this team teaching activity. And at times we don't find such teachers, such hardworking teachers, and it becomes a little difficult for us to manage. Then the next difficulty which can be faced is that undue importance of the teachers at the cost of the learners. What exactly it means? The entire scene of the team teaching is dominated by a team of teachers, and the activities concerned here, or the planned activities, the execution, the evaluation, all these things are entirely teacher centric, and all these tasks are being uh, done by the teachers, and that is somehow we can say a little bit of teacher centric, more teacher centric, and learners are given somehow the passive role or insignificant role in the teaching learning process. So this can be taken up as a drawback of team teaching. And the next point is the difficulty regarding the lack of material facilities in schools. This can happen that like if we are organizing the team teaching activity, basically we require a lot of like a lot of space which should be used for this entire program. Then also the material facilities, the infrastructure. There may be a requirement of a big hall. There must be certain furniture, some basic furniture. If it's a science class or any practical based class, so those practical equipment or laboratory equipment, the study material, teaching aids and other common equipment, maybe the magnification devices, because if we are going to deal with a large group of students, maybe the teacher would be requiring a mic or maybe some sort of projection device. So if these materials are not available, then it will be a big obstacle. It will be a um, very difficult situation to be handled for the students and for this big team of teachers. So basic equipment, material facilities are the must for a successful team teaching activity. And if it is not provided, then there will be some sort of difficulty. The next point is that teachers sometimes are resisting towards any type of change, and they resist towards this process of team teaching at times, because what happens, in the conventional teaching learning system or in the traditional teaching learning system, the teachers are very much comfortable that they will go inside the class, they will deliver the lecture, and they will come, and then they will take some sort of test, and they make an assessment, and it's done. So once it comes with doing some efforts to make the students learn better with the help of one expert teacher, at times the traditional teachers find it not very comfortable, and they resist to these activities. They resist to this change. So this is something which can be considered as a difficulty, and at times it also becomes a little bit expensive in terms of finances. So because we require a big space, we require some sort of materials, equipment, the infrastructure, which is somehow basic, which is in comparison to traditional teaching. We can see that even traditional teaching can happen sitting in a on the ground, or maybe in a normal classroom. So at times it becomes a little bit expensive to actually facilitate every sort of material resources, and uh, the finances which are involved in terms of arranging all these activities at times are bigger than the outcomes. So we have to see that how it can be managed. Then we can see that at times there are limitations in terms of planning and execution. If there is no proper planning done in the beginning, then we can find that maybe it can lead up to a fiasco, and the entire process becomes a very unorganized set of events. So proper planning and then proper execution is uh, is to be done in a very effective way, and then only we can find it very much helpful for the students. So all the team members who are the part of this team should feel that they are responsible for some task, and they should plan it properly and then execute it properly. And since like from the beginning itself till the end, they have to be very much vigilant about whatever responsibility is given to them. So at times when if the planning is not done properly or the execution is not done properly, the entire process can flop. So we have to be very much sure about the planning and the execution, and then only we can make this process successful. So this is also somehow considered as a limitation, that if the planning and execution is not proper, then the team teaching can be not a successful activity. Then the next thing is the lack of accountability in the traditional teaching, because one teacher is responsible for everything. So the teacher becomes very accountable for the even for the results and for the understanding level, to make the student understand that whatever is being taught. But because in this case, that in the team teaching, the responsibilities are shared, so the individual teachers don't feel that whatever is being transacted, if the students are not acquiring, then maybe they will play a blame game, or they can blame the other teacher who is taking the class, or some sort of lack of accountability can be seen. because like the responsibilities, the accountabilities are shared. So that is also possible if um, the teachers are not very much willing, or they are not uh, very much keen towards studying their own content and becoming very apt for this entire process. So this is again one of the limitations. So this is somehow the limitations are also there, but still, because the advantages are tremendous and we can find this process of team teaching very much useful uh, in the present situation where the online scenario is going on, and we can see that even teachers who are sitting abroad become the part of the webinars, and they provide their precious lectures to our students, and the students are benefited a lot. So we can just forego all those limitations. We can see that the advantages are many, so we can forget the limitations and go ahead with this the benefits of team teaching, so that our students can get benefited to a better extent. So now we can just say that team teaching has almost equal points on its credit and debit sides. However, careful scrutiny of its defects and limitations may reveal that the defects do not lie within the innovation or this particular process itself. It reflects that the natural tendencies and work habits already prevalent in our teachers and education system. We all are very much cooperative in nature, but the only thing is that this particular ability is to be nurtured. So there is nothing bad in adopting a good practice for improving our teaching learning process. And team teaching provides a way in which our duty to experiment, like it is as a teacher, it is our duty to experiment that what can be done which may enhance the ability of grasping something in a better way by our students. So the beginning can be made with the colleges of education, where we can equip the pupil teachers, the student teachers, for the effective organization of team teaching. And it is happening in most of the colleges and universities. And in addition to this, even we can go for certain research work. We can go for the research works where a paper is being written. We are conducting small scale researches, and a group of students are involved in this research work, and they are writing a research paper which is a joint effort of this particular team. So this team, working in teams, or the spirit of teamwork, is going to enhance the skills of these students, and in future, once they will be the part of the teaching fraternity, it is going to help them a lot in their profession. So we can say that it is something which we have to nurture in our students. So now we have come to the end of the session. Let us try to recap whatever we have studied. We have studied the different stages or steps of team teaching, which are planning, execution, and follow-up, or the evaluation stages. Then we have seen the advantages of team teaching, which are many. So we have seen that the best utilization of the available talent can be done. Best utilization of the available material resources can be done in team teaching. Then the team teaching process provides opportunity to the teachers for the best professional growth. It provides better learning opportunities to the learners. Team teaching provides opportunities for interaction with the experts. It helps in maintaining proper human relationship and cooperative attitude. And then it also provides the economical task of teaching in terms of time and labor. It also provides proper flexibility, and it helps in maintaining proper discipline. Proper opportunities for good supervision is also provided. And if we try to see team teaching with regard to the teaching of a particular school subject, we can see that it becomes very helpful if the teachers are taking it up in a good team spirit. In spite of all these advantages, there are certain limitations or difficulties which we can face if the team teaching activity is taken up. So team teaching may play a very effective role in the teaching and learning of a number of subjects of which are belonging to the school or the college curriculum, and particularly the subjects which are multidisciplinary in nature are somehow very like in those multidisciplinary subjects, team teaching is very useful. And we can see that those subjects are are being dealt by different teachers in the institution, but they come up and they help in the execution of this particular topic or that particular uh, thing which is being taught. But at times it provides in spite of all those good things, some difficulties can also come up, like the lack of material resources, taking up the responsibility by the team members, difficulty in maintaining harmony and understanding, or at times we expect a lot from the teachers. Then it becomes a little bit teacher centric, and the learners are somehow left, or they are very much passive here in this class. So these are few of those limitations, but we have seen that the advantages are very like too many, and these are that many that we can even not think of those difficulties. And we can see that if the team teaching activity can be taken up in the classrooms of the 21st century, the classrooms will become very, very effective. And even this effectiveness can be percolated to the pupil teachers, and they can become a better teachers once they are becoming the part of the teaching fraternity. These are few of those references and the links which were used for development of this lecture. You can also go ahead and read out more from these references. For today, this is all from my side. Thank you so much. Let us see each other in another session, another time. Thank you so much. Dear learners, you were watching a video on the teaching learning strategies and materials, and in this lecture we discussed about the stages, advantages and limitations of team teaching. This video lecture was recorded by faculty at home during the homebound situation of COVID-19 pandemic using minimal technical resources. Technical errors, if any, are unintentional and may please be ignored. For any queries with regard to this lecture or broadcast, kindly send your email to techsupport@dth.ac.in. Thank you so much.